Okay, so Grand Thumb made a video reviewing the SPAS 12, and we're 3 minutes and 30 seconds into it. And yeah, that's exactly how I expected that review to go. Why? Well, sit down for Ray Ray's review of the SPAS 12. Like, this is. Cat, what are you doing? Sorry, he's getting in the way. I had a SPAS 12. I'm trying to think of how long I owned it. There's videos of it on this channel. I think I had it for about 3 to 6 months. Something like that. I had it for a little bit. And I owned it for as long as I did because Jurassic Park is such a good movie. I tried to love that gun. I had the hook for it. I had the SPAS 12 sling for it. I had hot loads. I will say this, if you put hot ammunition in it, the gun does work. My failing with the SPAS 12 for me personally was it was expensive. And it was the worst gun to load I've ever fucking owned. The reason I say that is because you have to hold a button down on the side of the gun to put shells in it. And the place that they chose to put that button is not very convenient for loading shells. Basically, this gun is ergonomically fucked because it was designed, I don't know, by someone who never shot it. Like, the SPAS 12 could be a good gun in 2 or 3 iterations. It's one of those that's like, it's like holding an M1 Garand in 1935. It's, it's almost there. You might get a functional thing someday. And it made me so fucking sad, man. It made me sad enough that I took a gun that I think I spent like $2,000 on, and I dumped it at a gun show to a dealer. I don't remember what I got for it, but it wasn't what I paid for it. I took a substantial loss because I just didn't want to look at it anymore and needed money for other shit. I don't remember exactly what I needed money for, but it was stupid. I've sold a lot of guns in my life. And you should get that in order to have owned all of those guns, I had to sell other guns. What you're looking at here is basically like, I don't know. I sold all my guns and started a knife company and then kind of wandered for a bit, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And then COVID happened and I had a pump shotgun and a .32 revolver, which, to be honest, before COVID was all the guns I needed. I had a home defense shotgun and I had a little pocket gun to carry out gambling and shit. Now, I've had times in my life where I was carrying for war just for the fun of it. So, when I say that's all I needed, that's pretty much all I needed. As COVID started to develop, I decided to get back into guns, basically. I'll never forget that fucking SPAS 12, though. It left a fucking impression. It left an impression because of how bad it sucked for how much money it cost. Literally, I would have been better buying a Maverick 88 and burning $500. I would have had more to show for it. Picture that. And I bought the SPAS 12 from the guy that runs SPAS12.com or whatever that sells the parts. I wanted one that I knew would work. They had a reputation for not working, which is probably why I didn't get as much money when I fucking sold it, to be honest. But I really didn't care at that point. I hated that fucking gun. And it's one of those that the joy of owning it and holding it. I didn't put the gun down for fucking 3 months. I shot it several times, and basically, the pain it caused my thumb and forefinger to reload that gun eventually taught me to hate it. Also, I'll add that it's a really shitty pump action gun, and if you're not shooting high base loads, you might as well have a pump action gun. I think the entire idea of a semi-auto shotgun is dubious. The idea of a pump slash auto, I think, is the best idea I've ever heard of, but I've never seen it executed well. The Benelli M3 is kludgy, and the Franchi Spas 12 is ridiculously kludgy. Like, it makes the Benelli M3 look refined. And get the Benelli M4 is probably a better gun than the Benelli M3. That's, again, just my opinion. So it's like the Spas 12 is so fucking shitty, it even makes the Benelli pump auto thing look good. Then we got the idea of, like, what do you need a shotgun for? I put it to you that most of y'all that are saying you need a shotgun, you either need a bird hunting shotgun or you need a Mossberg 500, what do they call it, tactical cruiser? The one that's got the door breacher on it. It's 5 shots. Those are the 2 shotguns that I think everybody should own. Like, there's a single shot or a side-by-side or some shit like that. You can get those too. But, like, a pump-action bird hunting shotgun and a pump-action door breach shotgun would cover most of your bases, especially if that hunting shotgun, you got something like a Mossberg where extra barrels are cheap and available. That makes sense, right? I don't know. I think the entire idea of a multi-$1,000 combat shotgun is fucked from the get-go. If your shotgun costs more than $300, you're doing it wrong. Let that sink in. A lot of people I've heard say that they don't run a pump because with the auto, it never fails and they don't have the training to run the pump or whatever. And, like, that shit doesn't make any fucking sense at all. You should train to run a fucking pump gun. Like, if you're not training to do that, you're a fucking moron. And then, like, there's the auto shotgun thing. Is basically, we've been talking about some of the better representatives here for a combat auto shotgun. And believe it or not, the Spas 12 is in that conversation because of video games and European police. If serious gunmen had a conversation about semi-auto shotguns for self-defense and war, there in any way a fucking Spas 12 would be in amongst the guns being discussed. It'd basically be the Beretta 1301 and the Benelli M4. And the Remington and Mossberg semi-autos, I don't think are worth having. The Mossberg is more worth having than the Remington was, but if I was going to get a semi-auto combat shotgun in today's day and age, I would get a Beretta 1301 or I would get a Benelli M4. And just in my opinion, I think the Benelli M4 is overpriced. So that leaves the Beretta 1301. And that's about it. Like, I guess there's the Mossberg. If I was really on a budget and just had to have a semi-auto shotgun, I would go with whatever Mossberg's making. I wouldn't like it, though. I'd rather have Mossberg's pump guns. I'd rather have a 590 or 500. And, like, the main thinking on that is, what do you use a shotgun for? Well, most of the time, a pump will do that. The few times where I would want a semi-auto shotgun, I'd be like conducting jungle warfare or some shit. Like the real case uses for fucking semi-auto shotguns in combat are few and far between. However, if you can manage to bring one to bear, fully loaded, and empty it inside of a building, Jesus Christ. That's why they're worth having. But under no circumstances would I ever buy a SPAS 12 again. Under no circumstances would I encourage you to do so. And I hope that this 10-minute commercial has sold you on the idea that, yes, the stuff Grand Thumb is showing you is reality. That the SPAS 12 does suck that bad. I'll see you guys later.